Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Supernatural, Entertamited, and Productions. And we're talking to Gregory Moore here today, the owner of his own company. And speaking of supernatural, I love the background today. How are you?
Thank you. All right. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sweetheart. For those that may not know, I call you a psychic. I call you a medium. I call you intuitive. I call you an empath. Tell me your titles.
Too many titles will just call me. I guess this Red Venom 10 or the Divine One is all good for me. I'm not, I let everybody say what they want to say, as long as it's something that they can tangibly, connect with, I'm good with it, so I fret not too much over there.
Beautiful. Well, say hello to everyone and let's talk a little about what you do.
Okay. Well, I work with supernatural things. I work with the media. I work with acting and different stuff like that. But my main focus is basically focusing towards healing people with grief and loss, or just people out of the hard knock of life and stuff like that. I'm geared towards that way more. Specifically, I like to think. Also, too, I just enjoy creating and just entertaining people. So I use that as a way to as a medicine to basically help people think a little bit more, to heal them on their psychological, emotional, and spiritual level. I know that doctors are out there that focus more on somewhat the psychological level as well as the physical imbalance level and chemical level and stuff like that. But us as an American society, we don't have enough practice where it's focused on healing the emotions in the mind and the soul altogether. We have different, religions and all that stuff that focus in those areas, but I personally haven't seen a system that's focused towards healing the mind, body, and soul in a way that's metaphysical. So that's why I call it metaphysical. So it's metaphysical psychic healing that goes into giving advice and stuff like that helps change and alter your reality. Just look at it this way: if grief and loss has damaged your life in a way where it's altering your physical reality, that's the same way my supernatural ability affects people's reality, the same way to help them get to where they need to get to.
Wonderful. Thank you. And that's where you come into play for us, because a lot of people can't contact or get in touch with that metaphysical side of things. So the type of work you do, people come to you, I know you mentioned for grief, for loss, but what other things as well?
More mundane things such as, and I don't say mundane as lightly. I say it as in very heavy, as an earth, as a matter of fact, because there's a lot of different things. A lot of people are not able to see outside of themselves. So that right there is, acceptance of self is something that's a little bit more common than what I would like to say, than just say people can't see outside themselves. That sounds very derogatory. I don't mean to say it that way, but yeah. People that needs more self-acceptance and more self-love and stuff, in a way, not in a way where it's greedy, like some people teach it. And I'm gonna be very blunt about that, because some people teach a very toxic way of self-love, and I prefer to teach a non-toxic way where it's the self-love that kind of ushers in more love that's reflected from. So in a sense, it's kind of like what is that? I forget the name of it. I don't really channel it or not, but a lot of people channel it where if you do one good deed and then it reflects back onto you and stuff like that in a good way. It goes to show you that I'm not really too much in tune to other people's systems. I've been more focused into my own system. Well, I'll remember it later whenever the time comes. I'll probably post up on Facebook about it. But anyway, moving on it. But I'd rather focus on a love that's more unconditional self-love that's more tangible, to where it's pleasant to be in your presence. You don't want to see nobody that's with all this bubbly light, and then it's like they're the only one in the room that's got that bubbly light. You might need that picker-upper, and sometimes, we act as psychic vampires to help ourselves, which is fine. But, you got those people that's just like, they're cut off from everybody. They don't want to deal with nobody. No, this is my personal thing. You can't have none of it. He's like, that's kind of selfish in a way, because, you got plenty of it yourself, and you can share that light. If you ain't sharing no money or something like that, you can share that light too. And, it was not only was it created for you to fix yourself, but it was also created for you to share among the world too, and help other people with it. And how can you help people if or get people to be aware of it if you don't share that bright light that you have in you. And then you got some people that share it in a very toxic way too.
Yep.
And it's like dangerous, and it has people thinking that they're Incredible Hulk and they can smash and do anything they want to
Oh
do. And it's like,
gosh.
that's not good.
No,
So
no.
finding a balance in between that is something that I do naturally. Hold on.
Take time. Mhm.
Something that I do naturally to help myself or to help other people to become more aware of. And I feel like the more I get people to be more conscious of their decisions and who they are and their self-love, it's another way of basically rooting out a lot of, how can I say, malevolent forces that people uses on a regular, because you can't really blame it on bad demons or anything like that, or bad spirits, although spirits are bad depending on if they was living a bad life when they was living. You know, you got murdering spirits and spirits who like to manipulate and stuff like that. You get that going on in yourself. Well, all they're going to do is give you the power of suggestion. They're not going to do anything more than that, unless that's something that's their gift. Not every spirit has that gift to basically just manifest and just cause poltergeist or anything like that. I have never seen any like that. I have dealt with one poltergeist before, but it was in the sound of a bull. And my grandma heard it too. That was way back when she was alive. And like I said before, it must have lasted like over 6 or 7 months. I didn't know what it was. Every night, every morning, every afternoon, it was this thing that would just go. I was like, what the hell is this? What is that noise? And eventually, after a while of hanging out with my friends and kicking it and stuff, I realized that I said, I'm gonna go ahead and investigate this thing. I'm gonna go upstairs and see what's going on up there. I went up there right when it started happening. The neighbor was upstairs. I was really cool with everybody in the building at the time. We was good smoke buddies, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I really did have a good life back then. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, if you're not gonna descend or ascend and turn into, enlightened person, you're gonna be out there in the streets and you're gonna do anything that's possible to help heal those grief and loss issues. So let's be real.
Absolutely.
I mean, people think that I don't have a life. Like, nah, bro, believe me.
Wait, so back to the story. We were going up the steps. I forgot. We lost train of thought.
No, I didn't get a train. It's okay. So we're walking upstairs, and next thing you know, I go up there, and she was just sitting there chilling. She wasn't doing anything, and I thought that to myself, like, I'll have to get up there in the back to figure out if that was her using a vacuum cleaner or not. She said she didn't use a vacuum cleaner. I said, really? I said, that's strange. She's like, why? It was like, I don't know. I was just asking. I was just wondering because I was hearing this noise and I thought it was you or something like that. She's like, nah, I didn't believe her. So I asked, can I use the bathroom? So she let me use the bathroom. I went to go use the bathroom and I stuck to see what it was in the back right there because it was like, it's strange. It was right there where my room was and where the pantry was. So downstairs on the second floor, and there was nothing going on, but it was clean as a whistle. It's like, wow, really? That's when I realized right then and there that, yeah, I have myself a little manifesting spirit going on there. So instead, I use my magic to dispel the spirit and sent it away to a different place. Never heard from it ever since. So, I mean, if there is a situation like that, I did take up exercising spirits and, banishing spirits and stuff like that and warding them off. So I know how to do that too as well.
Like, I've heard of people being possessed, right? Really physically by a demon. Is that what it's called? Or possession? What do you call it?
Well, see, in voodoo, they teach you something different. And most times not, a lot of people are not aware that they're possessed by their own ancient ancestors. And I know a lot of people, it's something that we have to just get used to. I mean, I know we see a lot of movies and other things on there about altered DNA or special DNA and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as the divine goes in real life, we know that there's a lot of different stories from Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Christianity, and voodoo, and all these different people that were known as, saviors or different divinities in the past, and knowing God had many angels. And then the Nephilim story is the story I really want to focus on. That's something that I feel like that's most definitely in reality. And a lot of people just don't want to accept it. But you know what? It is what it is. And it's more than just a spiritual thing. It's metaphysical because, I mean, any spirit can manifest, but not all spirits have the ability to manifest the way that they should. And a real medium or a necromancer knows that the more you work with spirits, the more they have the power to manifest it to the point where you can see it. Now, not everybody can see it, but you can make it to the point where everybody can see it. Also, you can also make it to the point where can nobody see it, and just only clairvoyants can see it. So like different gifts and different stuff like that applies to different rules of thumbs with different people and how things manifest. Now, as far as dealing with demon possession goes, like I said, I feel like it's more of an angry ancestors that's getting inside of them, and they don't know it. Like it's especially with voodoo, we have our ancestral laws that's passed down through us through bloodline. So like the laws that protect it, which is ancient ancestors or ancient divine angels and voodoos, for to say, the ones that get possessed in that area. Now that's their ancestors and stuff like that. And see, I've been gifted with the ability to still be conscious instead of being unconscious when I ever get in contact with my ancestors' spirits and stuff like that. And also too, you got some people that just they're so empathic and so open to the planes of the invisible. They don't know how to control it, and they never learned how to control it. So it comes off as just this gargling different thing, but a lot of times it's really just a spirit trying to warn people and let people know what's going on, but it's never been able to make it through like that. And the only way that it knows how to make it through like that is gargling and going crazy and getting superhumanly strong and stuff like that. And all it sees is all these different people surrounding them trying to attack it. So what's the first thing it's going to do? Protect itself.
Yeah.
Not going to sit there and be nice. And I mean, something can come from the heavens and be nice as ever, but because we don't understand it, because of the fear of the unknown, 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to attack it before we ask questions, and then ask questions later, you know?
Love it. Well, thank you for being here, for joining us. And at this time, just remind our listeners where we can reach out to you, please.
Supernatural Entertainment and Productions at gmail.com, and as well as www.supernaturalentertainmentproductions.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much. What else do you want to share? Gregory Moore here is joining us. If you're just tuning in, he's pretty amazing. Unfortunately, he's been through his own share of events like we all have in this world, brought him here to you, to us, to enlighten so many others with his gifts. And, he's only talked about a few, but there's plenty more to him and what he could do to help you. So welcome back.
Yes, indeed. Well, I do music too. So I do music to help people as well. It's the same message there too. It's just instrumentals, but it's something that's more geared towards basically giving people that quietness that allows itself to speak and to be able to motivate them in a way that just, the ancient way of motivating people, but using music and stuff like that. And that's something that I've been working on a lot. I've been professionally with it since 2019, looking to take it further. In these days, I'm working on my new album. I haven't got the name of it yet, but I just came out with a new album called Something to Think About. And that's like a lot of different stuff on there. There's authentication on me.
Awesome. And now, people out there listening today, if anyone does want to reach out to you, how does it work? How do you know what they need? You just feel it, you sense it, and
yes, I sense it. And then depending on what kind of energy they give off, sometimes people have a lot of blocks on them. I sense that too. So what I do is I get to talking to them a little bit more. So talking to them more helps me basically to see more who they are and what their basic needs is, the ones that are a little bit difficult to read. So I have different methods that works for different kinds of people and stuff like that.
Got it.
So yeah.
And, on a normal daily basis, you're also, you're a normal person. You have your family, your kids, and how do you, does this gift help you help them?
Yes, actually, believe it or yeah, it does. Neighbors too, all of that stuff. I mean, once people get at first, they mistake me as a gangbanger or, the street person or a drug dealer or something like that. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is, not to be mad or nothing like that. But I'm really not that kind of person at all. And, I do a great deal to show people that I'm not that person. But once they realize and I open up about magic and me doing what I'm doing, that I get one or two results. Either I get a lot of support or I get a lot of people who are scared of me and want to stay away from me because they don't do magic. It's like, I don't do that kind of stuff, man. That stuff, so it's all good. I mean, but as far as helping me with my family and other things like that, it works well. My kids, whenever they need healing or whatever like that, I can always tell when they need something going on or something is going on with them, because they always come to me and they're always, want to be around me. They don't want to be around their mom or nobody else. They just want to be around me. And once they get better, it's like, bye, Dad. I don't need you no more. See you later. It's like, hey, what's up? Like, I don't get no love over here. It's like, yeah, I gave you some love already, but it's all good. It's like, that's good. That's good. This cat that we've been taking care of lately. The other day, I'll tell you this crazy story about this cat, and this is recent. And animals they really love my energy a lot. So it's just they just love it, especially when they're hurting or something like that. They just love it. So it's this cat we've been messing with. We've been taking care of. I got it on YouTube, and somehow, some way, something happened to him where he wound up having the size of his face, the size of a golf ball. It's like, oh my God, what the heck is this? It scared me because when I touched him, the rub on him and stuff like that, I kind of do a check in on him to see how he was going and stuff like that. And I saw that, I was like, oh wow. I was like, I told the family, like, hey, look, don't touch him. Something's going on there. Don't just be careful. I'll keep you posted or whatever the case may be. Long story short, we all start caring for him and stuff like that. I mean, which we already do, but they stayed away and stuff like that. And then I put some healing juju on him on the day before and the day before that. Well, yesterday he came back around and his whole face was just completely back to normal. He may have had some wet other stuff going on the side of him and stuff since it's kind of cold or whatever. But I mean, we build a little box for him so he could chill outside in the front and in the back where he can stay warm with his girlfriend and stuff like that he has, that he even got impregnated and stuff like that, both of them. So we've been real nice to him, feeding him and stuff like that, giving him like little nice food and stuff like that. And like I said, long story short, he's a lot better today. That big old fat golf ball thing that he had on the side of his head. Gosh, I don't know what it was. But we have 3 dogs too. So that's the only reason why we haven't, completely fully taken them in and stuff like that. And we take care of our 3 dogs, you know what I mean, a little bit better than we take care of him, although we take care of the cat better than most people would for stray cats, you know what I mean? But that's something that I kind of like. I like stray cats or animals around like me. I like around me a lot like that, just because I can target practice on them with my healing or with energy manipulation, biokinesis and stuff like that, which is what my gift really lies in, is biokinesis. I don't try to manipulate people's DNA or nothing like that, but like for healing or for like helping them to become better people or opening different gates for them to open the reality to a new world for them, I don't mind, altering a little bit of things like that and changing it around and stuff like that. And that's what I do typically on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I meditate all the time. I spend like half of my day meditating, half of my day creating new different content that people can relate to. Maybe not now, but sometime in the future, keeping myself psychically aware and grounded out and practicing different magical techniques, and constantly building my brand as a voodoo sant, holy sorcerer, and just constantly reading and educating myself and spending a lot of time with my family and just, you know what I mean? Every now and then again, I get drunk off a celebration because, I created a new album or I got a new video or I got a viral hit, or I got this right here or this right there. But of course, I mean, like all people, we manage our finances very wisely than most. And then since I don't get that much help a lot like I should, like with most people who have families and don't have families or whatever the case may be, and happy to deal with that on my own, I learned how to balance myself out and making so many different decisions with this company. It's like, I really need my spirits, because if I don't have them there, honestly, the decisions that I make would probably be a lot more reckless, and I probably would have already lost my company a long time ago. I mean, to be realistic with you, I mean, if it wasn't for me being able to, see outside myself, I'll be that way towards myself, because I'm going to be brutally honest. If it wasn't for me to be able to see outside of myself and to be able to listen to the constructive criticism of other people, and also to be able to take my past life experience and me being naturally born with these gifts, shaping with all of that stuff put together, I wouldn't be able to be as anywhere successful as I am now, honestly. And I've run into so many different people that realized I had gifts and that just all they wanted to do was just soak it up and use it for themselves. And 9 times out of 10, because I was so nice and because I was so lost, that's what I would wind up letting myself happen. That's what I would wind up letting happen. People that got to know me and get to see me a little bit more, working with them and stuff like that, because I never really had to sell drugs or nothing like that. I mean, just never really was interested in it. They always seen that I had something different about me going on. My grandma seen it. A lot of people in my family seen it. I mean, and that's why people in my family, they kind of scared of it because, you know, it's like, I don't need you reading my mind. I don't need you doing what I did the other day. I don't need you.
At first, did they think that you were like crazy? Like this can't be true?
Yeah,
did they doubt you? Were they skeptical?
Yes, they do all the time, you know, and, you know, it's just always that one moment for everybody. And, you know, and there's that one moment when you say something that just makes them think like, you know what? That's some smart stuff. I ain't never thought about it that way. That's smart. Like, and ever since then, it's like every time I say something, it's like every other thing, not all the things, but every other thing. That was smart. Then, you know, I'm starting to see you in a totally different light now. Like, you're not so bad as I thought you were. It's like, yeah, I know. Because I could be easily malevolent. I could be easily manipulative. I could be a lot of things having this gift on my hand and studying and knowing how the human psyche works and all that other stuff and learning from different divine gifts, how the psyche works from ancient times to now and how I can compare it and stuff like that. I mean, actually being able to communicate with a real divine that only myths talks about in a real life dealing with, I mean, flesh on flesh communication like the dead, man, that's a whole new eye opener. I mean, I remember the first time I actually ever got a chance to actually really touch the universe and really actually got to feel the universe. Like, I mean, out of all many years of my life, like, honestly, like, I've been trying to reach out to the universe and all that stuff and just working with my juju and stuff like that. I mean, and I know personally firsthand, a lot of people may think that they can just, you know, throw power and do all that stuff. But if you're really going to build a real relationship with these different entities or divinities, you have to be tested. You're not just going to get up in there that easy, and they will test you relentlessly. Believe me, and you can tell that them testing you because you can feel it, you can see it. So when I say that, I really got a chance to feel the universe, like literally the universe. Like it is completely amazing. It blew my mind. I was like, holy smokes! And it was a solar eclipse that we had a few years back, and I was working at Goodwill. I was still working with my company, and I was down here in the South, and everybody was out there, and it was so magnificent to be able to feel the universe grab me and hold me and just embrace me like that. And people were looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, y'all don't feel that? Y'all don't feel the universe right there? It's like everybody's looking at me like, dude, you're freaking out. You're tweaking. It's like, nah, man, I'm serious. So whenever there's a certain time and phase where if it's the universe, one side of the universe is darker than the other side, and it's perfect blending of light because it's eclipto. You know what I mean? So I work with a lot of eclipto energy, which means I work with a lot of balance of dark and light energy, yin and yang, because a lot of people, it's who we are. That's how we build atoms. Atoms is made out of electrons, protons, and neutrons. So, you know, dealing with that physics and understanding that on the physical level, on the chemical level, dealing with the human body, because we're all those different things. Mm-hmm. You know, I can feel the universe. It's like, instead of feeling the end of the world, I just feel the endlessness of the universe, which is so long and vast. It's amazing. It's amazing.
You're on fire. Literally. Yes, you are today.
Wow. And so I try to teach people this, you know, and like, who wouldn't want to feel it, man? You know, on the days that we're the most down is to be able to feel the universe like that.
Yeah.
It's like it just all melts away. It's like, man, just to even know that the universe cares enough to even want to share that pain with you and even cry with you when you're crying right there and it just starts raining out of nowhere, or, you know, feel that pain, you know, just the earth express that same pain as you're going through. Like, and I can never forget that moment. You know, like a couple years back, and I mean, due to the fact of its legal matter, I won't say too much about it, but I'll say enough. Is when I was going through it and dealing with this person and their friend, man, you know, it felt like I was being oppressed, like back in the day. Like,
Wow.
it was weird because at the same moment that was happening, that's what was going on around the world. And at the same time, that same hate that Trump was feeling, I was feeling that same thing. And it was just insane. Like, man, I mean, I have my abilities to be able to feel all around the world, but I choose to focus narrowly on what I need to. But when it's to the point where I can't control it no more, it's insane. So even though it was unbearable, it was still a great experience for me as a psychic and an empath because I know what it feels like and I'll never forget it. And I know how to basically avoid that versus basically just run into that same brick wall and don't know what it feels like. I forgot it. Nah, I remember it. So that's a benefit. Working on the memory that to help connect to the psychic memory as well as the magical memory, the spiritual memory. They're all different realms and different levels of it. And it all repeats itself, but just on different levels and different vibrations that just get stronger and stronger and stronger. So like look at I don't know if you know anything about the chakras, but look at one chakra as in those petals, those many petals. Exactly. Each petal is a different realm, but each petal, there is a different realm that goes higher and higher and higher on that petal by itself. And those are just the petals itself. Now, once you get into the center, and that's a whole nother realm and a whole nother different ball game. On top of that, the sigil that's in there, that's a whole other ball game too. So like each part of it breaks down to different parts of who you are. And the more you break it down and the more you're up in those areas or out of those areas, the more the empath or the psychic is able to feel that and help put that together if they know how to, if they have the proper training that is. And 9 times out of 10, there ain't too many books that teach people how to do that. So you need a spirit guide. So that's where I come in, and that's where I learn from reading different books on the body, human body by myself, and understanding that and breaking those, those barriers of ignorance within myself. And as I break those different barriers of ignorance, I run into the divinity itself, ignorance. You know what I mean? So when I write my poetry and I'm talking in the third person kind of view or a multi-universe, it's the people representing the people as a shaman, talking to the different powers of ignorance, whether it be the power of ignorance in the form of glamour that confuse us with thinking knowledge is better than intellect, or we think that intellect is better than wisdom. So either way it goes, I mean, we have all these different, and it's safe to say that that's true because when you look outside, it's a blue sky, but at nighttime, when the sun is gone, it's a night sky and you can see everything in the heavens there is to see. Why you can't see that in the day? That's the glamour of the day. The light gives off that hue. If you break it down scientifically, it's all there. And light does create an illusion, especially when it's refracted off of something else, or it doesn't even have to be like a metamorphic rock as the moon. It could be water because water reflects light as well. So, and that's what a lot of ancients believe, that the heavens was upside down water. It was water up in the heavens and it was the water down, and it was the great waters is what they talk about, is what they call it, the great heavenly waters that reflects the blueness that we see. And when the nighttime comes, the heavenly waters depart from the sun and shows its true bowels of itself, which represents the abyss.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best time to sum it up. Gregory Moore, tells the website one more time, how we can contact you.
Supernatural Entertainment Productions.org, or you can reach me at Gmail, supernaturalentertainment@gmail.com. You can also check me out on Facebook at Gregory Moore TV, or you can check me out on Twitter as in Moonlight Guard or the Flaming Godhead or Supernatural Entertainment Productions.
What's pyrokinetic? What does that say in the corner? It keeps popping up.
Pyrokinesis is it's a It's the ability to control or manipulate fire with your mind.
Hence what those hands are doing and that fire behind your head right now. Thank you so much, Gregory. Really, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Perfect timing. See, you do it. Thank you so much for being here, being so intuitive and open and honest. And as an empath, as a psychic, as a healer, as a medium, all the above, as a father, as a son, as an amazing person. Thank you for being here.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.